months, years. They want this spot. They want to get in here.
Everything has led up to this point. One last barrier to get across. Let's get right into the mix. Of course, last time round, we did see the Xayah taking center stage. Who knows what it will be this time round?
Well, Noel is stuck with the cloak. That's not good for our EMEA representative.
I saw someone run for a tier, and I'm just going to guess his title.
Right. It's probably title. A player that also, by the way, 51 points, basically guaranteed as well. I think if he gets a 7th, he is hard guaranteed, but an 8th place would theoretically tie him with some people. I think, so we have 2 players who have been pretty much gotten to that break point, but a lot of players who are just narrowing the outside.
I mean, we've seen a lot of decks perform well, like Kaisa, Xiaoyu, Xayah, but I am really surprised that Title managed to get all the way here, top 3 World Championships with a Lagoon deck. That's amazing.
You have to imagine that every single tiny edge you can get with that deck is well within Title's hands, as we will be looking at a Spell Swords Mirage for this game. Might we be seeing another bit of Deja action?
I mean, previously when we saw Spell Sword, it almost felt like nobody was playing the Deja really commonly in order to get that advantage. Mainly because a lot of people had committed to their lines by 2-1 and didn't feel like it could fit a lot of those Deja plans.
I've been seeing a lot of Deja's compositions today, and I feel like they just lack the damage compared to all the other compositions, so it actually falls off really, really hard, and it doesn't really save you HP during the mid-game, so it doesn't really have an advantage mid-game nor late-game.
Well, Spell Sword is one way to get that damage, so we'll see. Ironically enough, the most successful Deja we've seen just on the broadcast, I'm sure off-stream for the games we may have missed, it was probably fine. But it was when they used Pirate Deja in order to get to their fast 8 and play for that -3.
We do see our good friend Metabolic Accelerator worked relatively well last time round to allow for a lot more room in the game to grow. For Amdy's side of things, they are one of the players who are right in the middle of the pack, so still pretty unlucky to make top 8, but they can improve their standing.
Wow.
Okay, so going for full greed. A lot of these players are just going to lay it all on the line. A lot of players taking that high-risk, high-reward strategies.
I mean, that was the first rich get richer like a take from today, and I have to say I am very impressed by Rainplosion's performance, especially with their eco management. If Amdy plays the same as Rainplosion, we actually might see an Ace 2-star destroying everybody in the game.
Oh, not 1 but 2 Mirage Emblem takers. It's Dasic and Lelouch. So their game plan is very clear.
Yes.
Wow.
Apparently, this is going to be a very different setup than before. You know, guys, if we do see, well, as we presumably are going to see, a couple of different players pushing down the Deja route, we can see Lelouch making use of course, our favorite item carrier, Ezreal. How big of a difference is it going to make?
I mean, I actually see 2 people that's going for a loss streak. Lelouch with 20 interest gold and Amdy with 20 interest gold as well, too. So this is actually going to be a very high eco lobby compared to the other ones. It's actually going to be much less tempo than we see.
Yeah, Lelouch at 44 with a 4-way tie with Fritz, Rainplosion, and here we go. I mean, this lobby has it all in terms of the drama. Can these players on the outside looking in find a way to not just do well, but do well with other people in the lobby who are tied with them in points?
Oh, you're right.
The difference between getting a +1 over Here We Go, who's in the lobby with Lelouch, could mean the difference of 9th or 8th.
And this is not just a game. The pressure is on any mistake. One single misposition, one single wrong item, one single, oh, let me go for the golden egg type issue can actually cost them a huge amount of placements. We'll see exactly what these players decide to do.
I will take issue with that. It's never a mistake to go for a golden egg. It's merely a lifestyle choice.
You said it on behalf of all EMEA players. You always take golden egg, and you always go 8th.
Oh, boy.
Wait, I said that?
Oh, in that case, on behalf of Bebe and all the Korean players, you always take golden egg, and you always go 8th.
All right, so let's, what we've got here, of course, we mentioned we are seeing the rich got richer. We are seeing players playing a little bit more greedily. Title, though, has got a level up, has got the early augment instead of going for something more greedy.
So the thing with Amdy to consider is that he will eventually have to roll. He can't just rich get richer and then try to fast 9. There's got to be some mid-game in here. So does he choose to all in at 7, or not all in, but roll a good amount? And if so, is he trying to go for something like Deja as well? Because Deja is the rich get richer into the Dragon strategy. With 2 other players committed to Deja at the same time because of the Mirage Emblem take, this could get really spicy in the mid-game.
I mean, that is a fantastic point. You can't just go 9 instantly, you have to have a turn point. Usually that turn point is level 5 for 1 cost, level 6 for 2 costs, and level 7 for 2 and 3 costs, and a 4 cost 1 star mostly. It's all a matter of like what AMD exactly wants, because there is a situation with Rich Get Richer where you can just save up all the way to say 3-5, all in, and go for level 7 all in for a 4 cost carry composition.
We'll check in with Dasik, who is, of course, the big golden egg himself, will be one of those Mirage players looking to try and make an impact. Has actually managed to get the Shimmer Scale out early. It will be a determined investor setup for them, so they've got some good late game potential.
Dasik is playing for a pretty dubious situation, in which he's trying not to go 32nd in the tournament, dead last. It's between him, Holy, and Bricks, which is not a great situation for any three of those. Dasik wants to play for pride, because if whoever goes last here, you know that his friends and his rivals will never let him hear the end of it.
I mean, during day 1, it was always like, wow, it seems that a Korean is actually advertising themselves really well to the world at 32nd place. But
Good
finally,
days popped off, though.
We're out. Thank you. Thank you, Dasik. Appreciate it.
We'll see as we take a look at the stage 2 carousel and see what people are going for. AMD going for that Volibear. We saw that determined investor can be a huge thing. Talking about late game dragon power, Diamond Hands is some of the best high power dragon you can play for in the late game. Everyone's trying to unlock it as early as they can.
I feel this game will be very high in value. There are so many players ecoing. That means the tempo will be much more slower, and there will be much more money able to make that composition happen.
So what do you guys like? You know, if we are going to be seeing that kind of lobby where everyone's flush with cash, what are the comps you'd like to see, and what are the comps you'd like to see our players avoid?
I like comps that play units that take 2 slots on my bench, or on my board. Not my bench. That thing's like Golden Egg, actually. But yeah, I think that overall, just dragons are the name of the game, or a really high power version of some kind of 4-cost carry, whether it's Graves or Xayah.
Well, usually I would recommend composition like Xayah, but in a lobby with so much economy, as we said earlier, has a chance to get units like Aoshin and Acel at the ready, which does kind of counter Xayah.
That's true, and Diamond Hands makes Xayah even more difficult to get through the
Much more difficult, that is correct.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I actually might expect to see a few more like cheaper level 6 or level 7 roll comps, like a Grave Seraphine, or maybe like a 2-cost, like a 3-star, like relevant composition to get the advantage.
I like it. I think Baby's convinced me. I kind of move away a little bit from what I was saying. Baby's he's pretty smart.
No, absolutely. And here we go. And Title will feel a little bit less clever themselves as they will take the L. So nobody making out stage 2 with an intact win streak. Will that bring down the goal total at all and sort of stall out that incredible late game?
It does, and it makes it a little bit awkward for everybody, which is better for the loose streakers, so that way there's no bigger gap being pulled. The more you're streaking, the more you're going to level, the more you're going to push that tempo. So it's actually really good for like Dasik and AMD right now.
I'm actually really surprised that right now Title is looking at the board, and he's actually has a good setup for a scale scorn build-up. So if he gets Diana with the electric charge, this is a really strong scale scorn like a build-up tech, but I guess his mind is set on something else, and it's not Lagoons.
It's not Lagoons, at least not easily Lagoons. Theoretically, I guess he could play it, but I think Title at this point is just trying to go for a safe route of saying like, hey, I don't have to aim for even top 4. I can get like a 6, and I think I'm through.
No, absolutely. Consistency is key. And this is, of course, the gift of playing this tournament structure, to play with the best players in the world. You're in such a different situation you'd ever be playing on ladder.
I mean, I guess right now Title is considering going for Deja mostly, just as you said. There are, however, 2 Mirage spats in lobby, so I don't know how viable that'll be.
Add them in. Yeah, 4 Deja players, why not? Starting to look like North American solo queue.
So we have that, and if there are multiple Deja players, then what's going to happen is that a lot of 4-costs are going to be contested, so it does make it easier for other players to get their 4-cost carries online, such as Seraphine Graves.
All right, we've got a little glimpse into the comps that are being run across the board. Ronan, any of these leaping out at you?
Well, Noelle has a really interesting start, particularly because Noelle started with True 2s. So we had a 2-star Senna and a 2-star Lilia. Wait, is that a second copy of Senna 2?
Yo, I would True 2s.
So there is really dark tech. When I'm talking about dark tech, it's like the really underground comps that people don't play. Senna Reroll actually did show a little bit of promise. But most people are not playing that.
Would you gamble $100,000 for Senna 3-star?
No, absolutely not. And Noelle's on the outside. He's at 42 points. So it's like, I think he's just playing it temporarily. Finds
nice.
items.
Nice.
Come on.
That's huge.
We do know it's a token investor, so it won't be a big, immediate power spike, but certainly a decent front line. We've got, of course, a Dragon's Claw to throw into it. That will be an item that's very hard to shift, but Noel still has to try and put together some kind of winning formula.
And that was a beautiful sell in the Lilia. Usually people that take Truce 2 actually don't like selling their augments, usually. But he is in a situation where he is strong enough to start ecoing, and that Lilia is something that was prohibiting for that to happen.
All right, going up against Dasig, who has Diamond Hands at 6. He's going to have Diamond Hands as soon as next turn, which is going to be really powerful and help him spike in power. And he has that Rage Blade. He is gunning for that Deja. So we'll see if Noel can get ahead enough, because I don't know what Noel really wants to angle for with his current setup. He could theoretically play anything. He has a Giant Slayer and a Dragon's Claw. What composition doesn't really want to have something like that?
He wants to go for something everybody wants. Deja. Deja for you, Deja for you. Let's
The
go for
answer to
Deja
every
together.
question apparently will be Deja. A small update, though, on what our players are doing as we will be grabbing our next augment. So we have seen gold so far. We might have a little bit of a change of plan if people are thinking that the Deja's too contested.
2 golds in a row. You know, Makes was saying she wants to see triple prismatics. Sometimes golds are just as swingy as prismatics, and double golds with things like preparation that I see or better together could lead to some really powerful combinations.
Usually triple gold like augments is set up in a way where you go for triple combat augments. Well,
What do you see?
I see Andy with a Deja in the bottom left, by the way, and he picked a Mirage Crest. That's 3 players who took Mirage Crest.
Yes! We're here for it! All Dejas, all day! I mean, this is really...
What is? It's the same board, just copy and paste it 3 times. This is a Spider-Man gif where everyone's wearing the Spider-Man outfit and they're pointing at each other next to the van.
Again, thank you, production, for reminding us it is spells, swords, enchantments, so we will be seeing the big old Deja impact all the way across. Noel, again, puzzling us with their approach to this game. It's still 42 points, a solid position to make a leap from.
this is going to be the most skill-based result in the game. Yo, you're a Deja, I'm a Deja, that's fair, right?
It's a mirror match, 50-50.
Mano a mano, right? So the player that wins here will be actually the best Deja player in the world.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, Andy's the best Deja player currently.
Wow.
We'll see. It's an ongoing development. Oh my goodness.
Yes!
Oh, there's sugar skill items. Second one. What's that?
Oh, was it?
Come on, put it in.
He doesn't even look.
Okay. He doesn't need it. He's got Deja anyway.
Cool
right?
guys don't love explosions.
Well, I guess like in the long term, he's not going to go 5 Shimmer anyways. But if it was Goldmancer or something, I think we would want to play that.
Yeah, if it was Golden
random
Mancer, that was
doo-doo.
first place for sure.
I think that was an unusual mistake there from Amdi.
But he knew it wasn't Golden Mancer, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
just
he knew it.
He knew it was Draven's act.
His heart of hearts.
I VOD review with Andy last night. He actually asked me to go over his games to prepare for day number 2, and no one is more critical about his own mistakes than Amdi is. He's up there with the best in terms of self-reflection. He's definitely going to go back and think about what he could have done better that time.
Well, there's no better way to self-reflect than having Deja on every single side of the board. Quick reminder about our players coming in. So Title currently on top with a mighty 48 points.
Clean right there.
Oh,
Baby!
Perfect.
Title tried to build that out, but it wasn't good enough.
We've got Here We Go and Lelouch both on 44. It's still a really, really close lobby to each other. And as we've been talking about, with everyone playing so close together, we could still see some pretty big swings.
Oh, Andy gets the Gunblade. That is so big for his Deja to heal up the itis, and he has both of those pieces. He's in a good spot. What about Noel? Takes a belt so he can combine and make it to a Morello or start working on other things. And then there's players like Slooper, who has been gravitating more and more towards Zaya, and he has that opportunity to build items for it, but I'm curious what's going on there. Not to mention Kyvex, who we haven't really talked about much, a player who's been lose streaking all day. This game, he's win streaking.
Interesting choice for Super here. He has Ascension, and he actually took Preparation as a second, like an augment. I guess he just wants to force Graves because the composition actually benefits a lot from AP and AD. So his direction is set. His economy is at 40 gold, 2 loss streak. So he's win-losing, but he has over 100 Lagoon stacks. That's good economy from his side.
Well, I guess I can then put the question to you guys. How does Graves Seraphine do into Deja?
I mean, it can do pretty well. It depends on the setup and when you're hitting, but it also kind of depends on how strong the Deja is. With Diamond Hands, it's way harder. If you're looking at the Pantheon, the Graves getting stuck there way longer.
I feel like it's going to be an Edge and Knight difference. Whether Edge and Knight like correctly takes off the aggro from like a Deja to Graves, and that is just enough for Graves to finish off. I feel like that will be a core fact to consider.
And you look at how itemization has shifted in this tournament, even when so many people are prioritizing things like Dragon's Claw on their frontliner. Maybe instead of Zac, you're putting things on Pantheon like a Dragon's Claw Vows to keep him really tanky up against a Deja with Spell Sword. Don't allow them to ramp up quickly. Find a way to blitzkrieg their back line. But to your point, it's going to be pretty tough there, kind of.
Titles? Oh, wait, what is that?
What's going on in Lobby 1? Some sort of shenanigans.
Tamura is streaking.
Cool
pack setup.
Yes, that's what we like to see. I mean, this is the situation. You're very, very close to the edge here. Why not throw everything to the wind and take the riskiest augment of all?
Also, it's another lobby. Juanmia is still streaking. Dude, you already qualified. Take it easy.
Give everyone else a break.
Sheesh.
Okay, now if you look back to our game, then that was actually a really neat tech. Well, full win streak like a Cruel Pact. We are looking at Slooper's board versus Here We Go. Here We Go, it's also the same tech. It's either Deja or Graves in this lobby. Wow.
So far, we have 4 Deja players, at least they were angling it, 2 Graves players.
So it's going to be just Graves and...
Kyvik's doing whatever Kyvix does.
Okay.
Things.
And they both, the funny thing is that they both have preparation as well too. Everybody has Mirage augments and everybody has like a preparation.
This is just perfect. As you guys are saying.
Balanced.
Balanced? Yeah. Fair.
Everyone's playing the same comp. There's no question.
There you go.
This will be definitive. Who is the best? Who deserves to be in day 3?
Well, we'll see. This is the end of stage 3. Slooper took pretty heavy losses, but he still has a lot more HP than you usually are accustomed to. Another thing to ask is whether or not he would even roll during creep rounds. Some players, when they're contested, would start rolling at this point in the game. And AMD just naturally picked up 2 Idases. He's also at 90 gold at level 7 already.
Wow. He also has Diamond Hands as well too. He's going to get the extra 2 gold from like a losing HP onto the Diamond Hands. Actually, the fact that he got Diamond Hands so early, I feel was a really good frame for Andy. It means that he didn't really mess up not once with the investors, especially on creep rounds.
Yeah.
Oh, Stone Plate.
And good items.
Hey, not bad at all.
That could also be Edge and Knight for Deja as well too, because having an Edge and Knight or not on your main carry can actually be deciding, especially in a lobby with spell swords.
Oh, he's going for it. He's going to level 8 quickly. He wants to look for a little bit more stable frontline, but he doesn't want to overroll Deja pair, so now we're committed to the roll down. Can he find a 2-star Deja or Idis?
It's getting pretty close.
Too many rolls, I think. I don't think he should be rolling that much because he's not that weak.
There's the Idis.
But it's contested, so he wants to try to see if he can get it from other people.
Nice. Nice.
He finds, that is ridiculous. As you said, we've got the Diamond Hands in the mix. Going to be almost unstoppable. The itemization, love it as well. This is looking real good for Amdi.
Absolutely.
All right, Amdi currently decides to go for Diamond Hands and Gargoyle, so he wants a stronger front line compared to a safer back line. In this case, he might go for a 3rd damage itemization onto Deja just to make sure that he can actually clean up opponents. And wow, that damage is beautiful.
It's really strong. I don't think Slooper's still rolling, by the way. Sloop's not even focusing on the fight. Trying to see if he can fill up his bench with more preparation units. As you can see, it's starting to get to a point of desperation.
Slooper does find the Pantheon, but no Graves, I think.
As far as I saw, I didn't see anything. We'll see if the augment changes any. Oh! He has an Infinity Edge on his bench. He could just make Infinity Edge and he has Jewel Lotus. This guy's a high roller. Get him out of here.
Wow!
Do remember, guys, as well, we've got the 4 main players. Here we go, Lelouch, Noel, and Amdi, all in the 40s, all with a chance to push really far up the table.
Wow, I guess we know who the best Deja player is now.
Yeah. Look at Lelouch in the top right. He's getting to Deja, right? He has Rapid Fire Cannon, Rage Blade, Mirage. Oh, finds a Deja, actually. Wow.
Oh, wow, he actually found one.
That was a magic key. You're welcome.
Oh,
right.
Why are we still watching this guy? We know exactly what's going to happen.
We know he's going to be crushing everybody. Oh, my gosh.
I'm actually curious what Kyvix is playing. He's still streaking on the other end. The USA players bookending and sandwiching this entire lobby.
Kyvix actually having a very long win streak so far. He's currently at 92 HP. I am also very curious. We're looking at Noel's board though, and Noel on the opposite side has a great 2-star.
Yeah, and an Idis 2-star. It's almost like he's borrowing from each composition. It's like, oh, you want to play Graves? I'll take your Graves. Oh, you want Idis Deja? I'll take your Idis. No one wants Senna, but he's obviously using it for synergies. You know, Noel's just playing like pure TFT, like trying to play whatever is given to him, but this board, Andy's just way too strong.
You can really see from the expression Noel's got there and from all our players. Of course, this is the second day they're playing, in this sort of group stage setup here. You can see they're really tired at this point. This is going to be stretching them to the brink to be able to perform at this kind of level after this many games.
We are looking at Dasik, our fine player with no Dajas. Of course, Dasik. Oh man, come on, get lucky once, one game.
It's just tough too because he's also scouting around the lobby and seeing people picking up the Dejas. He does have a duplicator, which is probably what makes Diamond Hands so strong. You're just pulling out one extra copy for people. But 4 people want to go Deja at least. There might be even more.
I feel like in this situation, he needs to use Deja just for synergies, not as a carry, and hope for a Aoshin or a Soul like 1-star. Try to duplicate that into a 2-star, and that might be his only hope. His odds, however, are pretty low, but thankfully he does have HP to have time to decide exactly what he wants to gamble for in this game.
Here we go on the other side. Might just be the beneficiary of all these players contesting each other. Here we go. Needs to get the highest placement possible just to make sure that he can increase his chance of qualifying, as he's just on the cusp at 10th right now in points. This clump has actually been very effective to just kill off units. Yes, he's not winning the fight, but he's just trying to rack up. Look at how much gold he has relative to Slooper, who sent everything in order to get that Pantheon.
I mean, this is why Dasik's such a good player. Like, he didn't really find everything that he wants like Amdi did, but still, he knows exactly how to minimize his losses and make best of the situation. That's why he went for that Volley Bear with Spell Swords. That's why he itemized the Volley Bear, and that's why he's greeting interest gold up to 30 to make that happen.
Taito's at 29 HP.
Huh?
He's at 48 points. We talked about how Taito just has to kind of avoid like a 7th or 8th, and then he should be good to go. He's on track to go 7th or 8th. What a devastating loss it would be to get so close to the top 8 and to peter out here.
Oh my gosh.
No offense, Peter.
I'd rather be going out 8th here than see Title do it, because they've have just such an incredible journey to get to this point. Again, as we said before, just like Slooper inspired Brazil, Title with a chance to inspire Japanese players still to come. This contest, though, is unprecedented.
I mean, this is what happens, guys, when you cheat on your main deck. Why don't you sell your entire board for Lagoons? If you win Lagoons, that was at least a 5th. Yes, no?
I mean, this is a tough lobby, but you're not wrong. Nila could theoretically do well into these Deja lobbies, especially if anyone has Deja 1. It's a Deja versus Deja mirror match. Lelouch with the attack speed and Taito with the shivs and the gadget expert. Can that be enough? It looks like the attack speed of Lelouch is starting to ramp up, and that's going to outscale the damage to Taito, but Taito's front line is a little bit better. It comes down to how long does Nunu can hold on to, and it looks like Lelouch is focusing the other Deja down, and that's not going to be enough. Taito takes another loss.
They are on the loss streak, so at least they'll have the gold flowing in, but they are spending everything they had. I think very aware that this is a worst-case scenario developing for our Japanese regional champion.
I mean, this is what happened with like a Title here is, as we said, he has a very high place on the leaderboards already, so he just wanted to get a safe top 4. That's why he picked Electric Charge, a very safe HP saving augment into like a Gadget Master. But it didn't turn out to be strong enough for him to save more placements.
Yeah, and like, where's like the Jade Shio? Like, surely you could hit it while everyone else is going for Deja, and Electric Charge can help you get a safe top 4, or at least try to push for it. But alas, we are committed. Speaking of commitment,
wow.
Kyvix once again with the Mage Namzi just wants to put on one more show.
I mean, it's going to be fantastic with everybody clumping up with the backline units. We'll see, of course, the big cast coming through. The shields do absorb a lot of it, but the backline just gets blown to pieces. This time round, Mage Nomsy is not contested. We have got the Ascension kicking in, but it won't matter. Nomsy stands triumphant.
Wow, I have to give it to Nate. Wow, what is that composition? These guys made a fantastic build that none other regions love playing these builds. This is actually very rare build. People like, what's that?
Noel going 8th. That means he is no longer eligible for the top 8. EMA lost another hero.
He was so close. Honestly, though, for our players to even make it to this stage at all, to get as close as that, is incredible. But we are only interested in the very best of the best. If you can't hang there, you don't deserve to be in day 3.
I mean, as Noel dies, all the other players are sweating as well too. I need to raise one more placement. That is still thousands of dollars. That is still very meaningful, very impactful. They're trying everything in their hands to minimize their losses, and the Yagma's choice, the item choice here, will be very, very important.
Well, taking a look at if people are able to get the idle setups. Lelouch just hit Deja 2. I saw a triple Zeeks for Here We Go. Speaking of item situations, Slooper was able to get something going. Can Lelouch find a way to pull himself in? I believe he is the last EMEA representative that can make the top 8, if my calculations are correct. He's fighting with the entire region's pride on the line.
Yeah, I mean, certainly our regional champion does make sense to be the person to stand when all others have fallen before them. Lelouch has got the set that they need. They've got all the attack damage in the world, and they've got a dual gauntlet to multiply up all that spell sword AP.
Now, we did joke that it's going to be about like all Dejas with the Spider-Man meme, but it actually is really skill-based. They need to decide exactly what the good, best support unit is. They need to position their CCs in a way that can negate the enemy Dejas, and there's actually a lot of decision-making involved to get ahead of the other Deja players.
It's true. The itemization does seem to be better for Dasik, but the raw power from Lelouch, just having 2-star Deja and having 2-star Itis, is just a little bit too much here for Dasik. Dasik is going to take another loss here. But speaking of losses, I just saw...
Is he out?
Title taking 7th.
Oh my God.
Is he out?
That means he gets 50 points. That means that his...
That's dangerous.
Is dangerous. That he's not guaranteed out.
Oh no.
But he's on the chopping block.
Yeah, that's going to be such a big difference. Of course, you know, there's still going to be calculation to go. Lobby 1, what have you got going on?
Rainplosion, the North American player that can make it to top 8, is also still alive, but she has a golden egg on her bed.
Yes!
Oh! She's sending it for all for a chance to make the final lobby.
That's what we love to see. That egg, I think, is just about ready to hatch. So hopefully we'll keep our eyes close there as we have at least trimmed out the bottom 2 players. Slooper is still holding on, but it's going to be a narrow thing against Lelouch.
Tell them to pause that lobby. Just tell them to pause it. We'll catch up in like 10 minutes.
I mean, Rainplosion on the corner, top left corner, as we see.
She
here,
wins!
Actually has a Xayah composition, and the golden egg is about to proc. And always, as it's about to proc, the Carousel shows up. That was same for previous games as well, too.
Lelouch will be, I presume, taking the win there.
This
that will push Slooper down to almost elimination
Should we just switch lobbies?
I mean, both lobbies have a lot at stake. Lelouch with the big win, Slooper and Dasik taking losses, and their losses, Lelouch's gain. Can Dasik sacrifice himself maybe here for EMEA? But it's not going to go down easy for any of these players above them.
Rain's here.
Golden egg. Golden egg.
Egg.
2 Force Natures.
Oh my gosh, 2 tacticians
Need a
crowned.
Xayah dick.
And that allows her to cap out really high. Also opens up another possibility of capping out with 6 Dragon if she wants to.
She's so strong that she can also just go for level 9 on the spot. She does not need to invest any other gold. I'm actually very excited for that lobby.
Let's go, Rain!
All right, let's get back to our lobby, though, because Slooper is still fighting for their life. Dasik, only looking to try and improve their position, can still tear down the establishment here. We've still got a good backline. Graves is surviving in the midst, but this is a Deja that's very hard to put down. Guardians like crazy. There's so much inevitability here.
That's right, that's right. Slooper does have the tankiness, but like you said, that inevitability from Deja is starting to get really high. The AP has been stacking. The Rage Blade has been also increasing the attack speed, but Graves is not going to go down easy without a fight. And Slooper is out in 6th place. Hell of a run by the Brazilian player, but his journey ends here.
Slooper was such a good player, especially from set 3 as well too. He was Brazil's like a hope and dreams, but alas, he could not make it.
Still, though, this leaves us in a situation. Here we go, and Lelouch, both on 44 points, both still alive. And Lelouch definitely looking a lot more precarious.
I mean, we saw all these players playing Deja and Itis, and no one took Guardian. You can just tell that everyone's trying to play other support items. I'm happy about that. I think a lot of people get baited by things like that, like, oh, I'm playing Guardians, why not another Guardian emblem? Kind of recognizing things like this Bloodthirster on a Yasuo too can be just as not more scary.
Yeah, I mean, Andy's gotten up to level 9, so this is going to be a really hyper-scary version of the comp. You noticed before, of course, we've got everything coming through that Deja 4 items, and again, the Deja 2s, they've taken a while to arrive, but they are finally here.
Yeah. I'm actually a bit curious about this choice because I remember Andy having a choice of itemizations. He decided to go for Bloodthirster's blue buff and Quicksilver's instead of putting Diamond Hands onto the Yasuo. I wonder what you think about that.
I think he's because he's acknowledging the matchups. The matchups is a lot of front to back. He wants to stall out things like the enemy Deja and the enemy Graves. And also, this Yasuo is just going to start stalling forever.
That's why.
Look at the damage and the sustain from the Yasuo. They have yet to crack his shield.
No, he's just too damn tanky. Disruption all day, every day. You cannot clump against all this knockup. Big win for Amdi. Big L for, here we go. That's the hit to the face, which will trim down the HP, but they're still healthy. Lelouch taking the win there means they hold on.
I just tanks all the damage. Yasuo goes in for a CC. Deja goes for damage. That's why Amdi put this composition this mine.
There's one storyline we talked at the beginning of this game. Lelouch and Here We Go, they're tied at 44 points. The person who outplaces the other will have that point advantage going into the final standings. Here We Go just took a pretty big loss. Lelouch just got online a couple of rounds ago. Pay attention to that 3rd and 5th place. Whoever outplaces the other will be a likely candidate that can go to that top 8.
It's a head-to-head battle, the like of which we will rarely get to see for ourselves. Kyrix, of course, with the Nomsy, will be bringing out the firepower. We have got a fairly clumped front of board. If the Nomsy lands down the damage, it's going to be devastating. Lelouch with, of course, all the attack speed, gets the shot right on to Nomsy, but isn't doing enough damage.
That's right. Really intelligent positioning from Lelouch as well. Just happens to dodge a lot of the clump. And also able to get the good angle into things like Nomsy, but you see how Diamond Hands on Idis is just stopping all of that damage. And Kyrix takes another big launch, a huge win for Lelouch.
Here we go, still fighting.
Beautiful position with Lelouch right there. He put Deja in the middle, the right 4th middle spot, and that actually dodges the Tornado CC from Zoe. And that was just enough time to buy him enough damage to win that fight.
All right, we've got a few more items coming in. This is going to be so crucial. Not the most relevant item at all for Lelouch. They're going to be kicking their screen, wondering what they did wrong to deserve this.
That's awful. Last Whisper is probably like one of the worst items you can get at this spot.
Yeah, you can give the heck on him for armor reduction, I guess. Right?
I am looking forward to Anvils.
That horse is
what
strong,
can I say?
I guess our entire team is magic damage. Meanwhile, what happened in other areas? Daisy gets a Protector's Vow. That's pretty solid.
Especially for Guardians, jeez.
That is true, getting that resistances onto the shield, especially that faster cast on whatever unit he wants.
Basic found Deja 2-star.
Yeah, absolutely. Just keep going long enough, you'll get there.
Why is that so sad? I don't know why he found it, but it's just so sad. I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of what Bebe was saying before. It's impressive that he even lasted this long to eventually get to Deja because he was the last to hit out of everybody else, and yet he's still here contending for top 4. Nomsy 3.
Oh. One more.
Oh,
Come on.
are you gonna?
Oh, no, those.
No, maybe.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
How much do you want?
Oh, yes, English was right.
Oh,
English for gimmicks.
And a Silas 3 and a Skarner 3. Everybody is golden here, going up against Seraphine 3 from Here We Go.
Wow.
This is going to be a world-ending explosion.
Oh no, Zyra!
The stun,
Nomsy.
not easy, inevitable.
The board!
The big hit comes through. They're so low. One more shield could save them. Nomsy is still alive. The cast.
Oh!
Graves versus Nomsy.
is gone, but Graves is still alive. It will be.
How is he so calm? Look at him in the bottom right. He's just chilling.
Yeah, we got this. Nomsy, you and me. You're my partner.
Lelouch is still alive, but barely. Dasik is gone. We have our top 4, but just as you said, Frodan, it's all about number 3 and number 4. Lelouch on 3 HP. Here we go on 31.
Currently, we're looking at Andy's board at the moment. I don't really know what he can do at this point to make his deck stronger because there's no way he's going to get Deja 3 after all those Deja players, right?
That's right. Lelouch is still alive, but if Lelouch dies, that means the last Deja player has been eliminated. So there's still a Seraphine Graves player for Here We Go, and then there's a Nomsy 3 out of his fellow American and best friend Kyrix.
Wait. I see 5 Sorakas on Andy's side. Oh, would that be a Rainplosion? Yeah.
The Rainplosion, I love it. Well, we'll see as Lelouch is on his last stand up against Here We Go. Needs to defend this for the sake of himself, for the sake of Poland, for the sake of EMEA. Targeting the Graves, but it drops from the edge of night. Graves is now focused onto the Deja, and Deja doesn't have healing. It's going to be a complete wipe.
Wow.
And Lelouch
Oh my God.
eliminated by Here We Go from China.
That's taking a direct hand in matters. Lelouch, EMEA champion, did their damnedest, but this was one of the most bizarre lobbies we've seen all day long, and someone had to pay the price for entering the Deja lottery.
Concentration is very high. No, wait. Here We Go actually sold Soraka. I was going to say, here we go, notice the Soraka 3-star potential, so he's going to deny it, but he had a Soraka, but he sold it, and is that going to punish him later on in the fight?
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, Andy's still far away from Soraka, so theoretically could pick it up. And in his mind, he's trying to maximize his points. Just because Irigo got third doesn't mean he's into the top 8.
That's
he needs
true.
every point that he can squeeze out.
Amdi is just a little bit behind. Here we go on the point, so certainly if they can land him first, we can start having much more of a conversation about them. Here we go. They've got the incredibly strong chunk. Nomsy will be chunking in. That's a lot of damage. If she can land the same shot twice, she can start really busting some heads.
This clump position is actually working against Kivix's favor. He's actually getting all that. Whoa!
You were
Never mind!
Never fear!
Man! And hey, what is this?
That's big deal. Here we go. If Hirigo gets third, he's going to get 6 points, which means he gets to 50. You know who also finished at 50 points? Title, who just got 2 points from 48 to 50.
My God.
We might see some crazy tiebreakers. That is why Hirigo is desperate for that second place.
All right, we'll see if they can do it. We will be seeing more dragons coming in, more items, pouring gasoline onto the fire. That is our top 3.
That's a Deja.
Fighting for every single point. And yes, one more Deja.
Oh, he doesn't take it. He goes for safer choice? Is that how it goes? Or did he sell it?
He goes for a rod onto a siphon. Archangel staff.
He already has spell stores on.
So he has 2 Archangels now.
Of course, 2 is better than 1. Of course.
Well, once we get to those late fights, having the Soraka still intact, stacked up with an Archangel, is going to make those individual units impossible to kill. We have got Yasuo 2-star 2 times over.
He wants to go for a 5-cost 3-star. That's why he didn't take the Deja.
That's right. Amdi, by the way, here we go, by the way, made a second Graves 2 on the bench. Might we see a possible Hail Mary attempt for a Graves 3? Everyone's chasing their late game win conditions.
Can he make the Archangel, please, if he took it over Deja? I mean, I would like it if he used it, if he threw it away.
We've got a front line for days. We've got a Yasuo into the middle of the scrum. Knock-ups central. Doesn't quite get to where they need to be. Graves will get torn to pieces. And without Graves, this is no comp at all. We've still got Seraphine staying alive, but Yasuo cannot be dealt with, and that's a big blow.
Oh my God!
He's out.
He's down?
He's dead!
He's out in third.
And that means he's at 50 points. He's going to be tied with Title.
And they actually taking rank 1 and rank 2 for this lobby.
Oh, they waited way too long for this. They went 1-2. They're best friends. They're practice partners. They've known each other for way longer than TFT's been around. They were, I believe, from college.
Wow.
And so this friendship has persisted to the very end, and they get to play each other for the last laugh and bragging rights for probably the rest of their lives.
They are actually going to contest friend versus friend in this situation. Of course, for Amdi, it is better since he does have more points. He actually has a good odds of getting into top 4-8 if he wins, and his board is significantly stronger. Let's see what Kivix does to maybe prevent it.
Oh no, the Zephyr lands on the Nazi. That's not the start you're looking for.
Nazi's taking a little holiday up in the air, but will be back down just in time for Christmas. What this has allowed is for a little bit more time for Deja to stack up. We know those crits are huge, tearing through the team. Ascension will kick in, but the stun again keeps Nomsy from doing the damage he needs. Yasuo getting onto the backline. Nomsy is still alive. The damage is ramping up.
Come on.
The aggro is taken. Nomsy is gone. And that will be an end of it. Kivix down to single digits.
The result seems a bit clear, but Kivix is going to still fight on in the end. You never know. Maybe if the Nomsy does not get hit by Zephyrs, maybe if he makes a small change, maybe he finds Zoe 2-star, maybe he's finding Lux 3-star, it's still not over yet.
It's true. Positioning, how he lands Zephyrs, and Shroud. You know, you look at the Shroud, it pretty much missed for Kivix there that fight. How we are able to manipulate the chances to maximize your opportunity to win the fight.
So looking at the items we've got coming in, we've got the Hand of Justice on one hand, and we have got the Ionic Spark on the other. We'll be able to cut through a few more defenses. It certainly feels like Amdi is getting themselves into a position where they could start really getting to tiebreakers.
Now this is going to be the final reroll. Both players have so much economy going on. They keep on rolling, and the most important thing is look at Kivix. Can he hit anything?
Bard!
Make his board... Bard?
That's huge.
Bard's huge? Bard's huge. Can he hit anything that can make his board a bit more stronger? I think she sell the second Bard just to see if he has more options.
No, Zoe too. We're all the way down. No, yes, you guys said, nothing left a chance here, just putting everything into the roll. There's nothing more left. The spot comes in, the hand of justice comes in as well. Let's see if Amni's got what it takes to push himself forward to a potential place in tomorrow. The shroud goes through. Keep your eye on that Yasuo dancing between the raindrops. Nomzy again knocked into the skies. Time is wasting as Zoe sends through the typhoon.
Oh, it hit Deja.
So
One more. Oh, nice. Ascension.
Nomzy is not casting fast enough. Yasuo is still alive. The triple knockup. The wind blast comes through.
It's not over yet.
It will not be this round.
All right, that's it. And if he finds additional upgrades, he's found a Zoe. He's even stronger.
Oh my god.
No Lux off the Astral Orb. The restraint from Kyvix to know not to sell these units in desperation and said, I think I can win the next fight. And if so, that's the way for my ticket to get a first in this game.
Now, the reason why like a Kyvix must win is because currently his Lux is on the enemy Deja, and he split his compositional route more, so Deja does not get additional AoE value. If he keeps that going on, then I think he has a good chance to keep on winning these fights.
All right, guys, do remember this is the last game of the group stage of the competition. We can see, apparently the American attitude is go all out, hell for leather to keep him from going. This time, Nomzy will not get knocked up. Should be able to pump out a ton more damage, which could spell disaster for Amdi.
Well, you're looking at the Zephyr that just goes onto the Silas first, and as a result, able to kind of build up momentum. Nomzy does end up casting. Deja's just down to one hit. That Lux is dealing crazy amount of damage, but the healing doesn't come in time.
One more fight.
And Kyvix is trying to play spoiler. I see a small smile coming across his face. He is at the goal line.
Oh no, my friend, not today. I shall be the winner. Bar 2 also upgraded already, but he needs Lux the most. That's actually a really significant upgrade to make for sure. I do hope that the fight continues in this sense. I feel Amdi needs to snipe Nomzy as he did always, and I guess just pray that Deja hits the right opponent.
He's stuck on 8 Yasuos as well. This is the best point he can do. This is probably the last fight.
Board.
All right, Kyvix, have you got it in your heart to deny the hopes and dreams of Amdi? Nomzy sent to the skies again. It's going to be right down to the wire. The front line is good. The quintuple knockup. Yasuo is still alive. Deja is working her way through the targets between her and her target. Nomzy is still working through on full health. Deja does take a big hit, but they're now face to face. Wind blast goes wide. Deja goes down. Yasuo has to perform. The shield is good, but Nomzy is enormous. Amdi is denied.
GG, guys, GG. That was a fantastic matchup. Even though these two were friends, they fought till the end and never gave a win to the opponent, I guess. I guess they never give a free win. That's actually better for NA if they did that. These guys are true players, guys, true players.
I think, again, it speaks to the competitive attitude of these players. So just say,